Hello guys, and welcome to part 2 of this Harley-Davidson Bobber build. And for those of you who haven't seen the previous part of this build, you can find it on my channel. But in this build series I am building Harley-Davidson Heritage Softail to a Bobber edition. And I'm trying to use as much parts that I get laying around or make with my machines and my hands. So yeah, just sit back and enjoy the build. Alright. So before I'm putting the forks back on the bike, I'm going to turn down this section here to make it nice and straight, and then I'm going to turn something out of plastic to cover the ceiling here. Alright, so now they are finished. Let's see if they fit. Alright guys, so as you can see, last night I painted the vortex black. Alright guys, so I have received some parts, and I forget my camera on the desk there another day, but I have made a mount here for headlights, and I've started making the brackets for the foot pegs on both sides. I'm not done with them, and I'm going to make some pedals and with a brass bushing, and I'm going to move the brake pump further back in the bike and use a shaft here to push on the pump. And right now I'm thinking of making a mount for the seat because the sun is shining and I really need to get this bike done so I can take it for a ride. to grind it, cut and grind it, and make the shape, or make a shape that I'm satisfied with, and make it look like an old piece of metal. That's what I'm trying to do. So let's take it outside and grind hard. Alright, so then these two pieces are finished. They're gonna stand here on the frame. And I'm going to go to my lathe now and turn out, it's going to look like a hinge for the seat between here. And on that hinge I can weld a flat iron that is going down to the underneath of the seat. And then it will look like the seat is hinged. But since this is a Softail, I don't need to have the seat hinged, so that's no problem. But let's go over to the lathe and make something in between here and see how the hinge is going to look. Alright, so here's the finished product. I may turn some washers here in brass later on, but now I'm gonna figure out where I'm going to have it, and I'm gonna cut off a flat iron, a bit too long, drill the holes for the seat, mount it to the seat and start bending it and making it fit. So let's go. So I want the tip of the seat to follow the angle of the frame. So I will have to bend this flat iron a bit up to make that possible. So I'm going to take the angle grinder and cut almost through, then bend it, dry it, and then weld and grind the cut again. So that's how I'm easy bending these fat pieces of iron. Let's grind. So now I'm going to start grinding on it and make it look a bit more old and just a piece of flat iron. But I think it's going to look good on a bike. So after a lot of grinding, this is how it turned out. So now let's mount it on a bike. Alright, so my plan is to make a flat iron. It's going to go like this, and of course I'm going to grind it and make it look a little more than a little piece of flat iron. And I'm gonna bolt it right to the frame here. Then I can take on a screw out here and two out there, take off the seat, then take off the cover and access the battery. So I'm going to make this piece finished before I weld it to the seat frame, so I'm sure I'm getting satisfied with the look of it. So guys, so a little update. I have received a lot of parts lately, and I have started turning out some washers in brass. So I made a lot of those in the lathe. A friend of mine has bended and made custom handlebars. I have ordered ordered a fender from Lowbrow Customs. That was a very rigid fender, very good quality, but I have messed up on the width of the fender, so it's too narrow. And I have gotten a gas shut-off valve here. I welded it in place, so I'm going to make some new engine mounts here. That is going further down to make space for the fuel shut-off valve. I've not decided if I'm going to use this Cummins oil filling cap yet. I think it's a little bit big, but it's what I've got laying around. The speedometer is going inside the gas tank here, so I'm going to turn out a sleeve for that one and make a smaller tube go through the tank so the wires can come underneath. Yeah, so I'm basically gonna start making the washers that I'm missing under here. Start them out this one. I need to grind them down a bit because this is an hydraulic tube. It's 25 millimeters, and these ones are made for an inch, and an inch is 25.4 millimeters. So I need to make them a little bit tighter. Then I'm going to chop the handlebars in the right length on both sides. Put on the handlebars, or so yeah, I'm just gonna start with that. So I probably have to grind a little bit more on the steering clamps here, or put them in the mill. Either way, I'm going to cut the length that I want on the handlebars now. Satan. Alright, so I have recently rebuilt this brake pump, and I didn't notice that in an earlier Softail you got the brake pump laying underneath the exhaust along with the frame, and then I saw that these brake pumps are all the same, it's just the housing that is different. So my plan is to machine away the reservoir here and put a little made something that I can put a hose on and have the reservoir another place in the frame. I just take the reservoir from an old dirt bike that I have laying around. So my plan now is to tear this apart one more time, so I just have the housing and see if I can just put it in a lathe or something. We'll see, but yeah, that's the plan. Alright, so as you can see here, this is just a housing for the brake cylinder. And down here you have to put some brake fluid. So the only thing that I need to do is to remove this square here, because this square is the mounting in the frame, and I need to remove the reservoir here. So I'm wondering if I'm just gonna put it in the lathe straight away and just start turning. I think I'm gonna do that. I think I will go for the mill first. Alright, so I'm not gonna put it in the lathe because I want to save those cooling fins on the side here. So I'm going to just grind away the rest and then try to weld on a little nipple here and remove this square part and then see if it will fit in the frame. Alright, so here is the reservoir that I'm thinking to use. So the plan is to weld a little nipple here and mount the hose here. So I'm going to go to the lathe and turn out a little nipple here and try to weld it before I'm putting too much effort into grinding and making this look nice, because you never know, maybe I will destroy it when I try to weld in it. So yeah, let's try. Alright, so let's see if I'm able to weld these two together. now I'm going to make the brake pedal. I'm going to make a hinge here. I'm going to make 2 of them because I'm going to have one for the gear shifter as well. So I'm going to turn out of this piece of iron, and my original plan was to use a valve guide in the middle, but I think I'm going to go for a bit bigger bolt than 8mm just for the look of it. So then the housings for the hinge is finished. Now I'm gonna start cutting out the rest of the brake pedal. Alright, so the plan is to put the speedometer inside the gas tank here, so I need to make a sleeve that I can weld in the gas tank. So let's get over to the lathe. Alright, so that was all for part 2 of this build, but make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the final part. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode.